Am I the asshole for ruining my brother-in-law's engagement dinner because I cried at the table? I am Sarah. I work as a trauma nurse in a major urban hospital. My shifts are often long, emotionally intense, and unpredictable. Because of this, I try to keep my social calendar flexible and generally avoid making commitments on days I'm scheduled to work. My brother-in-law Derek, 34 years old, recently got engaged to his long-term girlfriend Lexi, and they hosted a celebratory dinner at a local upscale restaurant. My husband Ben really wanted me there. I told him I was scheduled for a 7 a.m. 7 p.m. shift and likely wouldn't make it, but he encouraged me to try to swap or at least make an appearance if I could. I managed to switch with a coworker so I could work a shorter but more demanding shift. In the ER, the day was brutal, multiple critical cases, one of which involved a child that didn't make it. I left about 40 minutes late and went straight to the restaurant, still in my scrubs and emotionally wrung out. I arrived about 15 minutes into the dinner. Lexi said with a smile that didn't feel very warm, "Well, look who finally decided to show up." Big entrance in the nurse costume and all. I awkwardly laughed it off and apologized for being late, explaining briefly that work ran over. Ben asked quietly if I was okay, and I said I didn't really want to talk about it there. Then Derek chimed in with something like, "It can't be that bad if you weren't the one getting hurt." I told him I'd rather not get into it and tried to change the subject. Lexi rolled her eyes and said, "You know, not everything has to be a dramatic hospital story. Tonight's supposed to be about us." I nodded and just kept quiet, but I could feel the tears coming. The day had already pushed me to the edge. I tried to blink them away but couldn't. I ended up tearing up and quietly excused myself. To the restroom, Ben came to check on me, and I told him I just needed to go home. He said he understood, and I left. Later that night, Ben told me that Derek and Lexi were furious and said I made the whole evening about myself, that I was selfish for showing up like a martyr instead of staying home if I was going to be so emotional. They said I sucked the energy out of the room. Ben thinks I should apologize, not because I cried, but for not reading the room and overshadowing their special night. I told him I was genuinely trying to be there to support them, but I wasn't going to pretend everything was fine when I had just come from an extremely traumatic shift. Now I feel like maybe I should have just stayed home, but part of me also feels like they were unkind and expected too much. I didn't raise my voice, didn't argue, I just cried a little and left. Am I the asshole for showing up late, looking tired, and accidentally becoming the focus of attention at someone else's celebration?